Powered by Riverside.
Hello. And I just got one question, Wes. Have you been driven mad yet?
No, because my bracket's doing great. I'm in fourth place out of 130 people.
Let me be very clear. I'm very proud of you, but also nobody knows anything. You got
Westradamus, baby. Westradamus. I knew UConn was unstoppable.
Man, yeah, UConn. And so you're picking the two-peat, right? The repeat championship.
I'm picking the two-peat.
But you've got them playing a really tough Tennessee team, and you really need Tennessee to pull a tough one off against Zach Edey and Purdue.
Zach Edey's a tall boy. He makes everyone else look like little midgets out there. It's ridiculous. Yeah. When I watch him play, like when they're all like during free throws and he's standing next to everybody, I'm like, that dude's got like a foot on everybody there.
He's one of those guys. I swear to God, if he could just reach his arms up and put the ball in the hoop. Sorry, I don't know why I forgot. But if he could just reach up and put the ball in the hoop, and
maybe on his tippy toes, but like that's it.
It's wild to see people bounce off of him. Like he's probably being fouled nonstop in every game, and only a fraction of those are getting called.
It's ridiculous. He's the player of the year for a reason. It's
funny. I don't know if he's going to be good in the NBA just because of the style of the NBA plays now. Because look at what happened to Taco Fall. Taco Fall is like a superstar in China now. But I'm going to enjoy the story while it lasts. You know what? Zach Edey's fun to watch. He's working in college.
There's a lot of 7-foot-plus big men in the NBA, whereas there's not as much in college.
100%. And college is not as much of an international game as the NBA is, and that can seriously impact them as well. But we got another game today outside of that Tennessee-Purdue matchup, and that's the one that I think is going to be a barn burner, and that is Duke against, their hated rival up in North Carolina. You ruined my joke, but yes, it's NC State. It's not North Carolina that you're used to. It is NC State. All right.
Still a big rivalry, though. The Wake Forest, NC State, UNC, Duke. Those four schools are all within like an hour of each other. It's crazy. And,
Are you expecting an upset?
I have Duke in my bracket, but I would not be surprised if NC State pulls it out.
Did you say your favorite player plays for NC State now? Isn't that what you said on last week's show?
DJ Burns, the big boy.
You said big old boy? That's your favorite player in the tournament, you said.
Yeah, the dude should be a lineman.
So I, unfortunately, in England, don't get to watch as many games as I would love to watch. And this game is going to be on just a little late over here, and I got to work tomorrow. I don't have that Easter Monday off. I do get to watch Tennessee Purdue, and I am excited because I have Tennessee going kind of far, but my bracket's busted picking Arizona, and I don't know why. It was the Pac-12 Magic, Wes. I was believing in the Pac-12 Magic. I wanted to see something happen, a Washington-esque run to the Final Four from them, and they just got beat.
Yeah, Pac-12 fizzled out. They did really good. They were 4-0 in the first round, and then they just kind of fizzled out.
Well, Oregon put up a fight, like we talked about. Oregon put up a good fight. You're right. The Pac-12 fizzled out, but they may have the number one overall draft pick in this year's NFL draft, and he's getting a hard time. So a little backstory. He went to the USC women's game with what appeared to be lip gloss, pink nail polish.
Talking about NFL draft. I thought you were talking about NBA draft. I was like, who?
No, switching gears. Okay. We're going to come back to March Madness because we've got some stuff to talk about when it comes to March Madness. But Caleb Williams went to the game, pink cell phone, pink nails, and what appeared to be lip gloss. And if you're a grown man making fun of Caleb Williams for this in 2024, you're pathetic. You're just pathetic because who cares? And I love what I think it was Duke player, Duke star, painted his nails blue and white just to bump up against this, because at this point in time in 2024, who cares? Like, why can't this young man just live his life? You're jealous of him, really, is what it is. It's always going to go back to that, and it's really pathetic of you to be making fun of this guy for having a good time, for doing whatever he wants, and we're still doing this homophobic BS, and it's ridiculous already. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and it all equates to one thing, Wes, and it's jealousy. You're jealous you're not him. You're jealous he's not talented. And I'm on record saying I don't think he's going to be the best quarterback ever. I think he's going to be very close to Kyler Murray, but I'm not going to tease this kid for some dumb stuff like showing up to a game and having a good time.
Yeah.
If you're doing that, you're an idiot. Go ahead, Wes.
I was going to say, I think I read that his mom did his nails. His mom's a nail technician, so he decided to let his mom do his nails. And who the hell cares? Dudes wear pink all the time. Yeah.
And he can ball. Like, I don't think he's gonna be the best quarterback ever, but I'm an adult enough to admit the dude can ball. He can still play. I just don't think he's gonna be great. I think he's got some maturity issues, but this isn't one of them. This is not an issue I'm worried about in the slightest. In fact, I think this was dope, to be very clear. I think it was cool for him to show up and support the USC women at the game. The attention that someone like Caleb Williams brings when he shows up anywhere right now at the University of Southern California is important. Exactly.
Yeah. And they're the number 1 seed, and they're in the Elite 8 now, so.
Yeah, and they've got one of the best players in the country. So for him to show up and support his team, his squad, like he should, like a good teammate should, it speaks volumes of who he actually is, because he doesn't have to go to this game. He doesn't have to do anything that he's done. And USC eliminated a really tough Baylor team. And if he wants to go out there and support what's probably going to be next year's number 1 pick in Juju Watkins, let him do it. I don't know. Are you sick of this already?
Yeah, I think it's annoying. I mean, I think it's stupid that we're even talking about it in 2024. And good for him for supporting the women's basketball. So
it's honestly pathetic. And if you're one of the men that's making fun of this guy, if you're in professional sports commentary and this is a story for you to make fun of him, you're pathetic. You don't deserve a job in sports commentary. If you're just a grown man that's jealous, you're pathetic. You're a punk. And you're jealous. Like I said, on to Kim Mulkey. What an anticlimactic end of this whole story.
Like, I don't want to say it was a nothing burger, but it kind of was, because it's everything we already knew. Like, okay, so she's slightly homophobic. And she stopped caring about Brittany Griner once she left the team.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a little bit estranged from her family because she's kind of tough to...
Centric?
Yeah.
And tough to deal with. Is that where you were going?
Yeah, but she's also really good at what she does. She knows basketball.
Yeah, I mean, we knew she wasn't the best human being on. We knew she was not good to her players all the time. We knew that. But I was excited about this story because she came out on the offense like she did when she was a basketball player. Look up those clips because those blew my mind. I was not familiar with Kim Mulkey's game, and she can ball and she can coach. She's got a couple championships under her belt. Yeah, she's won one at Baylor, won one at LSU now. She's just not a good person. But a lot of these coaches,
checks.
Yeah, just so you know, a lot of these coaches aren't good people. I'm not shocked. Like, look at Nick Saban. Nick Saban does not appear to be a great person in everything he said. And some of the platforms he's been going on aren't exactly what I would say ideal for a great person to be going on. But I mean, he's complaining about kids making money and the playing field being even. Go ahead, Wes.
The thing with, like, coaches at, like, D1 and professional level, I mean, they're not all there. Like, A, they're probably almost, like, really egotistic. And B, they have an insane work ethic. Like they work like over 100 hours a week. Like they don't really like take days off. Like they're not all there. They're
that
really
dumb
smart.
Belichick chant.
They're
that dumb
really...
Bill Belichick chant. No days off. No days off. Yeah. They're really smart.
They're really good at what they do. But man, they're just. I don't see how any normal person could do it.
No, but to be great at this stuff, you have to be obsessive. I've talked about this on the show when we've had Chelsea on, and you have to be obsessive. You have to be kind of a psychopath. You have to not understand that pain exists. You have to forget about that. You cannot always be around your family. I think there's a coach that used to FaceTime with his kids just so he could be at dinner. I think it's Dick Vermeil, I want to say, would have his wife put him on FaceTime or his phone on the dinner table so that he could have dinner with the family while he was in the office working. Like, there's a level of insanity that goes into coaching that people don't understand. However, that does not give Kim Mulkey a free pass to dislike people simply because of their lifestyle. Okay? It does not give her a free pass to be somebody that supports people that stormed our nation's capital. She doesn't get a free pass on that stuff. But nothing in that really made me question her ability as a coach, except for she's not a great person.
Yeah, she had some negative, like, some people came out negatively towards her. Some of her former players were positive about her. So, I mean, it all depends, you know.
It truly does. And it in the region she's in, and I told you this, Wes, when we were going over this, I was like, I gotta remember, she coaches in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, the player abuse. So I was like, oh, man, it's Louisiana. I'm not sure. Like,
I mean, they're not going to stand up for
animal.
player abuse, which it wasn't, thankfully.
It wasn't.
I'm just glad it wasn't anything that bad. So.
Yeah, I think you're underestimating the power of Louisiana to keep people employed that they agree with. I do. Yeah. Now,
I will say though, she's got some fire jackets, like the purple and gold one. It was like purple stripes on this side, gold stripes on that side.
You like
it was fire
style?
Well, so okay, that jacket, and specifically, I'm pretty sure Coca-Cola made it because it had giant Coca-Cola sequined on the side, and I was like, okay, that's tacky, but the stripes on the sleeves were pretty cool.
What would be your coach's style, Wes? Like, let's go down this road. I want to go down this road with you. Would you be quirky or wacky? Or what would you just suit it up? Would you wear the suit? Would you be all Pete Carroll in the windbreaker with the 90 sticks of gum in his cheek? What would be your style?
I'd probably be like semi-business casual. I'd probably wear like a polo and some slacks or something like that. Something athletic, like an athletic polo, you know, something where I could really kind of move around.
Just like your coach in Oregon? You just want to look like you're good. You just want to emulate your coach in Oregon?
Stanley, baby. But yeah, also one of her jackets, I think it was, I think her like first game after or this year, she had a white jacket and it had like gold, like flashy gold lettering that said champions on the side. I was like, own it.
What's your favorite coach's style of all time, do you think?
Man, well, I do like the coaches that dress up.
Do you? The suit.
I personally wouldn't do it, but it looks good.
I think Sean McVay, man, and I might just be like being one of those people that's caught off guard because he's so good looking. But it might be Sean McVay's style. He's kind of fit too, so you got to be kind of fit to pull off his style. But it might be Sean McVay with the V-neck and the khakis with the Nikes on. What do you think?
I've never really paid attention to Sean McVay on the sidelines.
Because you hate the Rams, that's why.
Yeah, well, duh.
All right, what do you feel about Pete Carroll's style? I thought he had some style for like a 77-year-old man.
Yeah, I feel it was more closer to like Bill Belichick. He would just come out with like a hoodie or like a sweatshirt or something like that.
What about Andy Reid? What about the Super Bowl champion coach with the big old jacket?
Dude, it gets cold in Kansas City, man.
Remember when his mustache froze over?
Yeah.
Because of all the condensation coming off his play sheet?
Yeah, he looked like a walrus. He had like icicles off of his
From
mustache.
Alice in Wonderland. Andy Reid was out there looking like the walrus from Alice in Wonderland. I all love to Andy Reid, by the way. I love your style. But you're like J.C. Penney's boy. Now let's get back to Kim Mulkey because we have a rematch of last year's championship game with Caitlin Clark and her Iowa Hawkeyes facing off against LSU and what should have been a super team in LSU, but you got Angel Reese back, and of course Haley Monlett transferred from Louisville. But what I really want to talk to you about, Wes, was last year and all the fireworks that popped off between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Yes. And see, are you hoping to see some of the same stuff, or what are you thinking this year when it comes to this matchup?
I think, man, I don't know, because Angel Reese was popping off, but she backed it up.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good television.
Fireworks.
I think there's definitely going to be some smack talking,
especially
if Caitlin Clark goes off and they're like winning second half. She's going to be talking some smack.
I mean, wouldn't you though? Wouldn't you?
Oh, hands down.
Yeah, after everything, I don't anticipate or expect anything less than talking a little smack there because there was no shortage of smack talk from LSU when they won. And Caitlin Clark, we've seen it. She's a smack talker. And I'm again, adults, who cares? Lay off, you fun police. God, you're so annoying. Like, I swear, these old people are irritating. Like, yes, I talk smack when I play sports. Wes talks smack when he plays sports.
Everyone does.
Fun. It's fun. It makes it more like of a good time. As long as you're not trying to punch somebody or get into a physical fight, like it's fun to talk smack and go back and forth. And I hope that if Caitlin Clark hits a big shot and they're winning, then she looks at Angel Reese and it's like, it's over. There's the "you can't see me" back to Angel Reese. Like, I want it to pop up. I want this game to be fun, and I think it'll only enhance the amount of viewers the game gets.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So when it comes to the game, do you have a prediction? What do you think is going to happen? It's a 1 versus a 3, but I think that you can leave the seeding at home in this game.
Iowa.
Do you think we get Iowa back in the championship, or do you think this game takes it all out of them?
I have Iowa winning it all.
So do I, actually. I have Iowa.
They got a week off after this game. They'll be fine.
It's a shoot game. I think this game is going to be, I think it might be higher rated than the championship. What do you think?
Oh, man. I don't know, especially if it turns out to be, Iowa, South Carolina in the championship. That's going to be a banger, too. I think. So who do you got for your Final Four for the women's basketball?
For the women's bracket in my Final Four, well, I've got Iowa winning it all against South Carolina. That's what I have as far as my final. But I'll tell you who I have in my Final Four. I think I have South Carolina, but let's just take a look here, and I will give you a better answer than the one I just gave, because I do know the championship, because I was looking at that this morning to kind of see where I was at in my women's bracket. Yeah. But in my Final Four, I have got... It looks like UConn over USC.
Okay.
I've got Iowa. I had Stanford in the NC State Texas bracket. Yeah, and then I've got, like I said, South Carolina.
So you had Stanford, UConn, and then South Carolina, Iowa.
Yep.
Yeah. So I didn't fill out a women's bracket this year, but I'm picking Texas over NC State. But I'm with you. I got UConn over USC.
I love Paige Beckers, and people forget because she's had 2 ACL injuries when she's in college. She was the #1 overall recruit when she came out. In her freshman year, she won Player of the Year. Paige Beckers is great. She's so good, and she's fun to watch, and she's not just a scorer. She's a facilitator. She fits right into that UConn team. And as always, UConn's stacked with talent. I wish Fudd wasn't injured, because if Fudd wasn't injured, like, I don't know, man, this might be a 1 seed in UConn.
I mean, yeah, and you can never count Gino out. I mean, that dude won 100 games as the coach, like in a row or something crazy like that. They were undefeated like 3 years in a row.
Yeah, the league just simply caught up to them. That's all. Like the talent caught up to them. The NIL helped with everything, but it's kind of anyone's game at this point, because I could see UConn doing really well. I could see South Carolina doing really well. Texas and NC State look great right now. And of course, you've got transcendent players in Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Haley Von Lith in this LSU Iowa game. So really, like, everyone can do it at this point. And I know you say Iowa, I say Iowa. I'm just excited. Like, I think I told you this before the tournament started, and I told you, I've been saying this all year long. The women's game has been more exciting all year long than the men's game. It just has.
Yeah. Do you think there's any chance we could see the same championship matchup in both women's and men's, UConn versus NC State?
I mean, that would be a little ridiculous. I hope not, because my bracket would bust if that happens. But yeah, of course there's a chance. Of course there's a chance with what NC State's been able to do on both sides. And of course your favorite college basketball player up there at NC State for the men. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see them make the Final Four, because they beat Duke in the ACC tourney.
It's not great radio, Wes, to say I don't know.
Well, it's hard because they beat Duke in the ACC tourney, so they beat Duke recently, but I think Duke has the keys to beating them this time.
We'll see, but their coach Krzyzewski ain't walking through that door, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. They've got a ton of talent, but we've seen talent age in the NBA as of recent days, and we've got the Los Angeles Lakers, Wes, and the Golden State Warriors on the brink of not making it into what is a 10-team playoff. At this point,
screw the Warriors,
because the Rockets, the young upstart Rockets, are knocking on the door, and I'm concerned. I'm not gonna lie, I'm concerned. I need my Warriors to do that, and you know who they're not getting any help from, Les?
Draymond Green.
That's your favorite player, correct?
I hate you.
Yeah, it's not.
I hate you almost as much as I hate Draymond Green.
So tell me what your most recent run-in with Draymond Green is, and how it has reinforced your point about Draymond Green being a trash teammate.
He's just a bag of crap. He's just a bag of ass. He got ejected like 2 back-to-back techs in their most recent game, and Steph Curry was not happy against the Rockets. Yeah, he was not happy.
No, you could see his exhaustion. You could see it in the way he reacted.
He's tired of dealing with Draymond Green. Draymond Green's a little immature little boy.
He is, and I would not be shocked if Steph Curry goes into the owner's office and goes, "Hey, I've got 5, maybe 6 good years left in me. I'm sorry. I love you, Klay Thompson. For what I'm about to say, I'm so sorry. Get Klay out of here. Get me what I can get. Get Draymond out of here. Give me what we can get. And let's get some talent around me so we can compete a couple more times before I am done."
You know what he's going to say? He's going to say, "Me, LeBron, super team, let's go."
I mean, that would be fun to watch, but LeBron also up there in age, right? So I just don't, I don't know what would work out there or who's going to be available this offseason. Now, the NBA moves players like bakers move cakes, but I don't know. And also, what could they get back for Draymond at this point?
Nothing.
That's the rest of them. I think they get something back for him and Klay, but I think they could clear some
they'll
space.
probably have to like give the team like a couple $100,000 to pay for Draymond's fines.
Giant contract that he just signed.
No, just be like, "Here's Draymond, and we'll give you $200,000 for his future fines."
Just there's so much baggage with Draymond, and like you said, we could tell that Steph Curry is so exhausted. Like, it's very rare to see Steph that agitated, especially with his own team. But he was clearly pissed off because they needed, and they won. They ended up winning that game against the Orlando Magic, but they need every game they can get because they are on the brink. They are the 10 seed, and the Rockets are right there.
I mean, Draymond's still a good player, but he's not worth the baggage. But if you didn't have that, he'd be a valuable player to the team.
I mean, and he could be. He still could be. He's got a lot of energy. He could still play defense. He could still facilitate. He could still help Steph get free for Steph things to happen. But at that rate, you need him on the court. He has to actually be there. And he's got to be. I think he's second most ejections of all time, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
I think he's just behind Rasheed Wallace as far as ejections are concerned. You're going to look it up. Yeah, fact check me. But if I was Steph, I'd be sick of it too, because I'd be like, dude, we can't have you being the most ejected player in NBA history this year. We need you on the court.
Right. It's obviously Draymond Green has an issue. And
I swear to you, Wes, getting away from this Warriors saga, I would have never predicted the top 4 teams be the top 4 teams in the NBA this year as far as the Western Conference is concerned. You got Minnesota is number 1. Oklahoma City is number 2. Yep. Denver is number 3. And Los Angeles Clippers is number 4. Oh, yeah, and let's just throw in New Orleans as number 5.
So I would have picked Denver.
No.
The Nuggets have been good.
Throughout history, though, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
the history of the teams I just mentioned, what?
I mean, if you told me like 10 years ago that the Thunders were still top of the league, I'd been like, oh yeah, they still got Kevin Durant. He's been with them for life.
I mean, I guess, yeah, if he stayed on that squad. He's been with them since he was a Stani.
Right.
Sorry, it was a shot.
Well, we got the Suns. We got the Suns down at number 7. Yeah, that was a bad shot.
Do you believe in them at all?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see how they do as an underdog this time.
I mean, Kevin Durant, you can't count out Kevin Durant. You can't count out Devin Booker. But I just don't know how I feel about the Suns at all this year. I don't know. I don't even know if I trust Boston to win it all. And Boston is far and away the best team this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. How about Avs and our favorite boy, Kyrie Irving?
Luka?
Kyrie Irving.
I don't think the Mavs are going to do anything. Like, I love Luka Doncic. I think Kyrie is trying to play himself back into being considered one of the best players in the NBA. He's had a good year. He's kept his
mouth
crazy.
Shut.
I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, he's kept his crazy opinions to himself, and that's been refreshing to not hear from him.
Yeah,
but
we haven't talked about him once.
Yeah, he's just you just stay quiet, which is not. I don't want that from my athletes, but every time he opens his mouth, he says something problematic. Is my issue with
Something
Kyrie.
stupid about a flat Earth.
Anyway, I don't know. I really think that we might see some chalk this NBA playoffs. I don't think we're gonna have another Miami Heat situation where they find their way back into the championship from an 8 seed. But they're just below Indiana right now, and I feel bad for Indiana because I think Tyrese Halliburton really screwed up their chances to be one of the best teams in the NBA by going all out in the NBA in-season tournament.
Yeah. Well, I think about the Bucks holding steady at the 2 seed.
I love Damian Lillard, and I would love to see Damian Lillard get something.
So I thought they would drop a little bit. I thought they dropped to like 3 or 4 seed with Doc Rivers, but he's up there. I wouldn't say they've improved. I haven't really noticed any improvement, but
what did they lose, like 6 games in a row when he first came on?
Yeah, it was something silly. But then they also won like 5 games in a row.
He had to get the system back in. He had to get the system going again, I guess.
The Rivers system.
I'm starting to get excited for the NBA and NHL playoffs. I'm very sad, but we're not kind of cracking in the NHL playoffs.
Kraken
it looks
won't
like
be there. Yeah,
it was a good season. Not as good as last year, but obviously they have some holes to fill. Injuries.
I went to my final Kraken game of the season on what was it, Thursday? So
it's still a blast. Very expensive arena, Seattle.
They won 4-2. So
let's work on that cost, Seattle. It's kind of a lot, and I like going to those games, and Wes likes going to those games. Don't price us out, guys.
Well, game I went to on Thursday, there was like a little event in the club section beforehand, and they had free nachos and like canned margarita cocktails. I had 3 of them. They were 10% each, so
it's pretty hard. But I paid that. You're like, where's the dumpling stand? I want some dumplings. Where's the chicken sandwiches?
Yeah, I is not driving.
That sounds good, though. You had a good time. And the train, you know what? Shout out to that little rail system they got in Seattle, because that's gotten me to and from quite a few Seattle Kraken games.
But it's still a pain in the butt, though, after the game, because it's always such a long line.
Yeah. Here in England, it's a little bit easier to get on the train, as you experience, and I hope you guys...
Congratulations. England has such an amazing public transportation system. We all know you guys have amazing trains. Congratulations.
I hope that you would tell me to come out again next year. I would love to see you guys. But Aston Villa, my football club here in England, is currently competing for a Champions League spot. They are in 4th, and they won 2-0 against our rival, the Wolves. But
how many times have you been there? Just once?
Just once. Yeah, it's expensive, man. It's expensive to go to the Premier League games out here.
They're your favorite team, man. Go once a year.
You got to think. Yeah, well, I'm trying to get to the end of year game against, I think it's our last home game against Liverpool, and I'm trying to get to that game. But, yeah, I've got a really good friend out here, Corey, shout out. It's a Liverpool fan, so I'd like to see if I can get us tickets to that game and head out that way, because I think that's going to be a really fun game. But right now they're competing with Tottenham, and Tottenham, man, we're just holding Tottenham off, and they're right behind us in the standings. We got a 2-goal lead on the goal differential. We've got 3 points on them, but they've got a game in hand. So Villa, we've got to keep winning. And we were talking about coaches, so we love their style. Unai Emery, a baller when it comes to dressing. His style on the sidelines, impeccable. He is a beautiful man and a beautiful leader of men. And he has led Villa back to, again, another European tournament, it looks like. So let's keep going. Let's push. Go ahead.
There's a big match going on right now between the 2 and 3 team in the table. Yes. Man City versus Arsenal. It's currently 0-0 right now.
Yeah, it is.
That's a big one.
That's a big match, and I wish it wasn't 0-0. We need one of them to lose. Aston Villa would love to see one of those teams lose. Villa beat each one of them earlier in the season.
I mean, would a draw be better for you guys?
No, because then each one gets 1 point. I'd rather one of them lose so we can try to jump another one, you know? It's a tight race right now for these championship league spots. And I'm just happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to be out here while we are in the race. I'm happy to have gone to a game this year. So let's go. If you're a villain, please listen, like, subscribe, and review this show. You can reach us at the Sad Fan Cast. You can reach us at the Sad
No one
Fan
likes the villains.
And
We like the heroes.
And we will continue to bring you the sports news each and every week. We will let you know how Wes's bracket looks, because right now his is the only one that matters. Mine is trashed next week. Wes, do you have any parting words for the audience?
We'll see you next week for the Final Four.
Can't wait.
Go Mariners.